My golden rule, and the one that's kept me in this funded account and in payout territory, is one trade a day. But I also have two other rules that are just as important, and together they make my top three. I'll share those with you in a minute, and by the end of this video, I'll help you figure out your own golden rule because it might be completely different from mine. First, let's check out the trade I took today. All right, so I'm going to start off here today with the trade that I wanted to take, the trade I was looking at, and the trade I didn't take and wish I had. So this one, that setting up here would have been what I would call my B long, where price breaks the opening range, comes back, retests, finds support, and then comes down and retests in the same area and finds support again. So I marked it out. I thought about taking it. I wish I had. Instead, the stop would have just been below that candle, by the way, and it would have a 1.5 target. So that little line up there is where that trade would have won. And I think it would have been about 30 points. So a nice winning trade. It won. I wish I had taken it. And I'm getting to the point now with these B strategy trades of mine where I think I'm going to make like a sign for above my trading computer that says like take your B setups, you idiot, something. So here you can see I got into an A long. It was a nice setup. There was no reason not to take this trade. Again, about a 21 point stop, 30-point target. I did watch the trade. Um, it was a bit of a tough one. This trade went on for about 10 minutes. I saw this candle come in and was like, oh, there's this huge bear bar. I'm finished. The trade's going to lose. But I did write down risk $84. And I had to really journal during this one to kind of calm myself down. I noticed that my heart rate was up. So I was like, I got to focus on my breathing and just like deep breaths and calming down. And I actually wrote in my journal, like, um, what did I write in here? Like, I did note that my heart rate was up, but I wrote down like that I wanted to move my stop also. That was another thing. I didn't because I never touch my stop. That's a hard rule that I have to have for myself. Uh, I I wrote down that I was thinking about my equity curve, like, with the loss, like, I was concerned with what my equity curve was gonna look like, which I know is silly, but it's what came into my head, so I wrote it down, and I thought I'd share it with you guys because maybe you have some kinda silly thoughts when you're in a trade that's going against you. So as far as the losing, I just wrote down and had to remind myself, like, losing, taking losses. So you can see the trade loss there. Losing is just a part of trading. Think of it as a business expense, and that all traders take losses. Because whatever reason, this loss was just, I don't know, it was bugging me. But I just kept reminding myself, breathe deeply, calm down. It's $85. It's not a big deal. And losing is a part of trading. They're not all going to win. That's impossible. So, one trade a day is my golden rule. This is basically my tilt insurance. So, this is what will, as long as I follow this one rule, I will never go on tilt. Unless it's no, I was going to say, unless it's some long, drawn out, like weeks long tilt where you just take one stupid revenge trade a day. But really, that's impossible. So, if I stick to only one trade, I'm not going to end up on tilt, which in the past is where I blew up accounts, I lost all my progress, and I couldn't see if my system was actually working or not. So the next rule that I have is to only take valid setups. This sounds super obvious, of course, and I can't believe that I need to have it as a rule, but I do because in the past I would jump in and take random trades, or I'd be listening to other traders and I would take their trades. So only my valid setups, my A, B, or C setups. I wish I took that B setup today. I didn't. That's something that I need to work on. If I start bending the rules on what trades I can take, then I can't really trust my results anymore. And I'm just more likely to slide into those old bad habits where I would just take any random thing that, like, really there's no setup. no clear stop in mind, just bad trades that I need to stay away from. The third rule of mine is proper sizing. So right now for me, that's 2 micros. I have just over $1,500 of drawdown. So that's about $750 of drawdown per micro. I'm thinking between $5 and $750 per micro is good. And that I'll scale up when the account gets to $2,000. I'm not too sure on that. Um, but if I get bigger too early, then I think it just puts me in that position of the individual trades mattering too much to me. Like today was an $85 loss. Oh well. For me, I feel like once it gets over $100, then my emotions become more involved and I get more stressed about the individual losses. So for me, proper sizing is huge. So I think that you should absolutely steal my second and third rules, the only valid setups and sizing properly. I don't think you can go wrong with that. I don't know if anyone can argue with me that they shouldn't be only taking their valid setups that they've predefined or that they should be sizing properly. Maybe some people in prop accounts might argue with me on the sizing. Um, and that's fine. We can have that conversation. But I think these two rules are great for everyone. But now it's about finding your golden rule. Minus one trade a day. That might work for you. And I actually tell a lot of people to try just taking one trade because it made such a big difference for me in eliminating tilt and the possibility of tilt. But you might do better with just like a fixed daily loss limit. I know that works really well for a lot of people. Um, or like 2 losses and you're done, or 3 trades a day. I think just look at the best way that you can sort of figure out your golden rule and what it needs to be is to know what puts you on tilt. So figure out where tilt starts and then make your golden rule based around that. Because when you look at where tilt starts, you'll see some common themes. So, like for me, what would happen before tilt would be lots of times just a single loss, which I know is crazy, but it just put me in a bad headspace and often got me into revenge trades. Another one was not taking a valid setup and watching it win without me. Another would be jumping out of a winner because I got scared and then watching it go up and hit my profit target like 5 seconds later after I got out of the trade. Um, Another one can be getting stopped out by a couple of points and then it goes to your target, like what happened to me today. That's why I didn't jump back in. I recognized what happened. I know that I've been there before and it could have worked out, but well, it would have worked out today, but I know that there have just been so many times where it hasn't worked out. So to get your golden rule, really drill down on what sets you off, where discipline starts to slip, and what leads to tilt. And then you can make a rule based on that, whether it's, like I said, daily loss limit, trade limit, anything that will stop tilt before it gets started. Jumping back in would have worked today, and it's worked for me plenty of times before. But when it works, and had it worked today, it would have meant a break even day or maybe making $85 instead of losing $85. But when it doesn't work, it usually means tilt, and tilt is account blowing territory. So the two are not equal. That's why I stick to one trade a day along with my other two rules. Now, I really want to hear from you. Do you have a golden rule? If you do, what is it? If you don't have one yet, I really want to encourage you to start working backwards from tilt and figure out what's that one rule that you can make for yourself that will save you the worst moments. That's probably the rule that you need most in your trading. Thanks for watching the video. I heard some some YouTube expert not long ago say you shouldn't thank people for watching your videos, but I'm going to keep doing it anyways. So thank you guys for watching. If you like the video, leave me a like, comment, subscribe. I want to know what your main trading rules are. Do you agree with me on my other two about valid setups and sizing? Do you have any disagreements with it? I want to know. Let me know. All right, I will see you back here tomorrow.